I have a number of people who have signed up to be heard this morning.
And I'm here on behalf of Tampa Bay citizens organized for sound transportation, TB cost. We want to take the politics and special interests out of transportation in this county and find real solutions that benefit our citizens. We want solutions that are financially sound. And I'm particularly happy to be here this morning because this board seems to be headed in that direction.
Now I notice that this is kind of a lopsided. It's not of to benefit for Hillsborough County because the needs of Hillsborough County are totally different than the needs that Pinellas County. But I do think that they should work together. They should work together. And I didn't notice that one of the items that they had there was to plan and to coordinate the schedule to service the public. Well, that's wonderful, but there is no need for a merge to be able to do this.
I'm here to comment about the proposed joining of PSTA and HART. If the proposed joining is approved, PSTA and HART will exist on paper only. All staff assets and funding from both groups will go to a joint power authority, unelected officials who will decide how to use Hillsborough County taxpayer money. This is an effort to bypass the voters, and this is unacceptable.
I'm here today also as a taxpayer. When I initially saw this article being shown on the TV, it gave me grave concerns. Reason is because I used to live in St. Pete, and I know that bus route that goes 100 to St. Pete across the bay. I don't see very many routers on that bus. So my question would be, how is it that this merger is so necessary if the ridership across the two bays is not that much? After seeing this, it brought up some grave questions for me, for the community in which I serve. If we were to merge, would it create an increase of cost for our residents just to ride the bus services? The question of accountability greatly concerns me as well. The merger would possibly, as I've heard, create what they call the JPA, a Joint Powers Authority. Why do we need another layer of bureaucracy when we can't even deal with what we got now?
The government that governs least would be the one that is closest to the people. We need HART to remain separate from PSTA. The transportation needs of Pinellas County are very different from those of Hillsborough. Hillsborough has a lot of rural area. Pinellas is mostly urban. We need to have a referendum if you're going to try to do anything like this. The people need to be heard.
We do not agree with the merge between HART and Pinellas Suncoast, PSTA, because we do not believe it'll bring benefits to Hillsborough County. We think it will be a detriment to local communities. Most likely, it will create a deficit due to the discrepancy of wages between counties. Very costly and very complex. A new third layer of power of GPA, Joint Power Authority, will most likely be a way of taking the power of decision from the citizens instead of having a referendum so we can decide whether we want to merge or not.
My name is Barbara Hazelden, and I've driven over this morning from St. Petersburg and have been very active in following the transit drama between HART and PSTA. And really, I concur, of course, with so many things that people are saying about being against the merger or any form of a JPA or any other type of joining together of these agencies, because I do feel that it takes the government further away from the people and just adds another layer of bureaucracy, and hopefully we can all agree that more bureaucracy is not what we need in any area of our government. But really what I wanted to take a moment just to ask you about, or just to bring up, is that I've now heard a couple of times about supporting PSTA on a tax swap, and many people in Pinellas County mounted quite an effort to try to defeat the HB 865 last year because of this being what we felt was very disingenuous to call it a tax swap. And in your efforts to be amicable, I hope that you don't feel like you have to throw a bone over to PSTA because this tax swap, there's no swap about it. To make a promise to the voters of Pinellas County that if they will pass a 1% referendum, that they would promise not to collect ad valorem, is what, of course, the basis of this tax swap is. However, this 1% is going to generate $130 million versus $26 million that they're currently getting from ad valorem. So I'm a simple person, but to me, tax swap means pit for pat, and there's no swap about that. That's a tax increase. It's a huge opportunity, and that's why Governor Scott turned it down. Even though it went through 3 committees and passed as a home rule local bill, and it was given a pass all the way through. I drove to Tallahassee to testify to, and it was just given a pass because of it being a local bill and out of courtesy. And yet Governor Scott, because of all the phone calls from all the people, he vetoed that bill. So please, don't embolden that deceptive piece of legislation again by continuing to say, let's support. I just ask you that you don't do that. Thank you very much.